Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Barnabas Robot Arm. So in this video, you're going to notice I have another camera view here. The reason is we're going to add 2 more motors, and I want to make sure that you're able to see the motors move, okay? Alright, I have my robot here, and right now it's actually at 90 degrees, and it's kind of doing that jitter thing. It doesn't really like this position. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to continue to kind of like keep an eye on it and troubleshoot that as we continue to build. But again, the jitters thing, you know, it'll keep coming up and we can continue to debug. But for now, let's focus on putting on another motor. So the next motor that we're going to put on or program is actually this one right here. Okay, and that is going to be called the tilt motor. The tilt motor, and I'm using camera terms, is the motor that goes up and down. Okay, brings a camera view, goes looking up or looking down. All right, so that's what this motor is going to be doing once we build the rest of it. So servo tilt motor, that's going to be the next name. So we're going to create another servo object. That's what I'm doing here, and I'm calling it the tilt motor. Now this servo object is going to have to attach to not pin 6, so that's why I'm over here. We'll go to setup function. We're going to attach pin number 9. So let's go ahead and do that. Tilt motor, which is the name of my new servo object. I'm going to attach pin number 9. And that's this wire, and so that is this cable right here, okay? So once it goes through this board and everything, it actually connects to pin number 9. All right. And let's go to our loop. Let's delete this stuff. We don't need this stuff anymore. And let's just do a test. Tilt motor.right. Let's send it to 90. Send it to 0. Alright, so I'm going to do a delay a second there, delay a second there. Alright, and then I also want, right now I send my base motor to 0 degrees in the beginning. I'm going to say let's send it to 90. So I like this camera view right here. Okay. All right. Because if it was not 90, it would, you know, maybe move the whole base out of the way where you're not able to see this motor anymore. So I'm going to keep the base motor at 90. Cool. So you saw it went up and went down. I missed it, so let's try that again. Cool. Alright, and let's test that. You can make sure it can go 180 as well. Alright. Just want to make sure that was okay. Tilt. Okay, great. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. It started here at 0, then it first went to 90, and then moved out. All right. So, but right here in the setup code, I never told my tilt motor to go to 90. All right. So what's up with that? So why did it go to 90 first? But there's no code here telling the tilt motor to go to 90. So one of the things is that when you first do this, when you say tilt motor dot attach 9, it's something that's going on behind the scenes. It's always going to move that motor to 90 degrees. So it's kind of confusing. It can kind of mess you up. So if you kind of don't have that in mind, you're like, why is it going to 90? So let's go ahead and do this. Let's also explicitly say tilt motor dot right 90. All right. That way it makes sense to us because we're like, okay, we put in 90 explicitly, but kind of just know also that it's going there anyways. So that's more there so that we don't get confused. It's kind of like a reminder. Okay, so it's going to go to 90 automatically, and then you're going to tell it to go to 90. So effectively, it won't do anything new, but now you kind of know it's a reminder. Okay, we're going to go to 90 first. And that's actually the same thing with the base motor. Okay, so actually any of the servo motors you put in, when you first do whatever motor dot attach in the pin number, it's going to go to 90 first. Okay, so for now on, let's always put tell it to go to 90 in the beginning, so we kind of have that reminder. Okay, so I think we're good. Let's make sure everything like works out. Cool. So it just does the same thing as before. And I'm going to add a little, another thing here. I'm going to create a function called the home function. Void home. Okay. So homing in a robot is going to be, it's the same thing as saying that initial position. All right. So basically, whenever your robot wakes up, what position should it start up as? All right. Is it like, let's just pretend I'm a robot. Is it like this or is it like this? Right. So our home position is that every motor is going to be at 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is take this code here, cut, put it there, and then I'm going to call home. Okay, my home function. Okay, so now we have a home function that is going to move both motors to 90. Just make sure that works. Okay, cool. Things are working out. Now let's also add the next motor. It's going to be the extend motor. So the extend motor is going to take your robot claw. Once you move to position, it's going to be able to reach out and grab something. Okay. And then let's keep going. Extend motor dot attach. That's going to be 10. Okay. And then let's also move for the homing, so initial position. Let's move extend motor to 90 as well. Okay. And then instead of, let's go ahead and test out our extend motor. Okay. All right. So one thing to notice is that for the extend motor, see, it's ending up is this piece right here. We just saw it. So 0 is actually back here. Let me delete some of this to make it more clear. Okay. So now I'm just going to move the motor to 180. So first it's going to go home, which is 90. Okay, so that's good. And then 180 is here. So it's the opposite of this motor, okay? Because, and I'll just do this here. If I do extend, this motor's at 180. If I move the other one, not the base, what was it called? Tilt motor dot right 0. What's gonna happen? It's gonna come. Actually, let me say this. Let's set them both to 180, and let's see what happens. Ah, you see that? So they went in opposite directions. All right. Now the reason they're opposite, if you look on the top right, that camera view, you see the two motors. Okay, this is the extend right here, and then this is the tilt. You notice these motors are mirror images of each other, the way that they're positioned. Okay, and because of that, they're going to be opposite in the way that they move. So you want them to move the same way, you gotta set one of them to 0, then one of them to 180. Cool. So now they are both working. So that's good. So far we added the other two motors. We created a home function. So let's go ahead and do that in our little notes here. Add tilt and extend motors. Test them. Okay, you want to make sure that the motors work, okay, which we did here. We made sure that they're able to go from 0 to 180. Function to move everything. All right, and as we know, we can do the dot attach command that goes to 90 anyways, but we want to put that in. Maybe our home function will add some more functionality in the future. Maybe we'll put some more complex stuff in there, but for now we're just going to move everything to 90. Okay, so now we can have a little fun here. All right, so I want to do this. All right, so I like this function that we made, moveBaseMotor. And again, remember it moves up and down, and for me, I'm changing the angle by 15 degrees. All right, I'm either going plus or minus, okay? And so I want to make it so that I can have this function, but also for the other motors. So let's check out how to do this. All right. So I'm going to copy this code. Okay, I'm going to call, instead of moveBaseMotor, I'm going to be first do the tilt motor. All right. And so let's see, this looks the same. But this, it shouldn't be base motor, right? It should be tilt motor. Right, okay. And then I also use move angle down. But let's look at move angle down. Move angle down. So I'm going to do this. Looking at this, it also has base motor in here. Alright, so now it's getting like a little bit crazy. So now I'm going to need also move angle down. So let's go back to move tilt motor. Okay, but I have to change the name of this because I can't have two move angle down, so I could call it move angle down tilt. Okay, and then instead of base motor, I have tilt motor here. Let's see. And then also instead of this, I have tilt motor here. Okay, and then now I can say, back to my move tilt motor, I can say move angle down tilt. Okay, and then I also have to do the same thing for move angle up. So what I don't like here is I'm gonna have all these functions and it gets kind of confusing. I don't know if you're confused. I'm a little confused. Okay, so instead I'm gonna delete this because I don't like what I'm doing here, because it would work. Okay, so I have to like add another move angle. I'd have to create move angle up tilt, okay, by copying the other move angle up and then changing the servo objects to the tilt motor. But it's gonna get, again, it's getting messy, but I want to show you what that would look like. So I'm gonna just go ahead and delete this. Okay, we're gonna go the next level. Okay, we want to make this so that you're able to use the same function for any motor. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to be able to take in as a parameter the servo motor as well. So sometimes you're going to be moving the base motor, sometimes you're going to be moving a different motor. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this function. So instead of moveBaseMotor, it's going to be called moveMotor. Okay, so now it can be any motor, not just the base motor. And it's going to take in the target, which is the target angle, but comma, it can also take in a servo motor now. So it's going to be a servo object type, and then we'll call it just motor. All right, so it's a parameter that's a servo object type, and the parameter name is motor. So if I go to line 36 now, instead of base motor, it's going to be whatever motor we put in there as the parameter. So we just say motor. Okay. So far so good. But then what about this move angle stuff? So if I go down, just move angle up, I'm looking for move angle down. So move angle down takes in the target, so that's fine. But it also here, so line 68, it says base motor, but I don't want to just always do base motor. I want to be whatever motor I want to do. So we're going to also do a comma, servo, and then motor. Okay, so it's not always going to be base motor now. It's going to be whatever motor object I put in there. So I'm going to change this to motor.read, and then this to motor.write. Okay, go on with me. Okay, so now move angle down, you're able to read whatever servo motor angle, like whatever it is, and then you're able to move that motor based on I guess I have it for 15 degrees. Okay, 15-degree increments. Okay, now go back up to move motor, and now see move angle down, it doesn't just take target now. What else does it take? It takes the target and also the servo motor that you put here. So I'm going to go say comma motor. All right, I know that there's a lot going on right here, so I just want to make sure I'm doing this slowly, it's making sense. All right, so now let's just kind of see what's going on here. So I have a move motor function. I take in the target angle and then whatever motor you want to move. So then I say line 36, whatever motor I want to move, get the current position or the current angle, and then we do this math here, or logic. If my current angle is greater than the target, then move angle down function with the same target that was here and also the same motor that we put here. All right, not too bad. So then now we've got to do the same thing for the move angle up. So let's go ahead and say target comma motor, and then we got to change move angle up, which is here. Change this part by saying servo object and then motor now, because it takes in servo motor as a parameter. And this is no longer base motor. It should be whatever motor you put in here. Or else do we need to change it? This also. All right. So what's nice is we didn't add any more lines of code. We added a few things here. Line 50, for example, became a little bit longer, but there's no new functions. Okay, we just changed the names of our functions and we added an extra parameter, would be the technical way that you would describe that. Let's just try this out. Okay, let's do moveMotor. So I have this right here. It's called moveMotor. I got to put the target angle and then also the motor. All right, and I'm gonna flip this because it makes more sense to me that I say moveMotor and I put in the servo motor first. Messed up my commas here, comma, and then the target. Yeah, it makes more sense to me where I say move this motor, put in, then the first parameter should be the motor that you want to move, and then it's going to be the target. So I'm going to say base motor, comma 0, delay 1000, move motor, base motor to 90. Delay 1000, move motor, base motor, 180, delay 1000. Okay, so this is just testing my new function now, that I should be able to move the base motor from 0, 90 to 180. Let's check it out. Hopefully it works. Okay, so it worked. I am getting a little jitter right now, and we'll deal with that. We'll continue to debug. But it works. Cool. So let's do the same thing with the extend motor. So all I have to do is change these, and it should work. Right? Or actually, we did the tilt motor first, so let's do cool. Looks like it's working just fine. And then let's also do the same thing with the extend motor. All right. Now let's do this. Let's do a whole sequence here. Let's move them all in sequence, okay? So I'm gonna do the base motor first. Then I'm gonna do the tilt motor. And then the extend motor. Okay. Something's happening here. All right, so what's happening here? I'm not sure if you can see, but my cable here, this cable is getting caught on this piece of wood right here, which is not allowing the base to go all the way over, and then it's causing the robot to actually reset. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We're gonna have to do something about these cables. We're gonna have to be a little smarter about, what we do with these cables, so that they don't get tangled. And maybe we'll get like twist tie or something like that, or even a zip tie. We're gonna have to fix that up as we continue to build the robot, but just keep that in mind. So if your robot's like resetting, there's something weird going on, make sure that it's not getting caught. So I move the cables a little bit. Let's try it again. It's still getting caught. Okay. So this guy, this cable right here keeps getting want to get caught right here. Let me do this. Okay. Cool. So I went through this whole sequence now, that time without resetting, because I had to make sure that this cable didn't get caught. So it's, again, something I'm going to have to be aware of moving forward. But let's go ahead and add that as another challenge, okay? So that one's a little bit more advanced, okay? So we updated the function. So update move function, or moveMotor, to take in servo motor parameter. Okay, what that basically means is that we added the ability to put in whatever, move whichever motor you want. And then challenge number 4, move all motors in a sequence. And challenge number 5, I'm going to put this in here. Play with motor movement speed. So what do I mean by that? Well, you might ask, like, why? We wrote this code here, moveMotor, that has all this code. What's the point of it? Well, we added this to combat the servo jitter issue, because we saw that at certain angles it doesn't quite work well at certain angles. And so for me, I moved it every 15 degrees in 15 degree increments. That seemed to help a little bit. But now, I see this last time it worked okay, but maybe I still need to tweak it. Now look at this, the 30 millisecond delay here. That's the delay between every 15 degree increments. So it's like, it moves 15 degrees, then waits 30 milliseconds, 15, 30 milliseconds, and so forth, right? So what if I want to slow it down? All I have to do is change this. So let's just try, okay? If I, like, I don't know, let's just, I'm gonna make it like 1000, like something crazy, okay? So move angle up, move angle down. Now I have a 1000. So 1 second delay between each 15 millisecond move. Sorry, 15 degree move. And what's nice, because we moveMotor is used by all of the motor moves, that automatically updates for everything here. Okay, so the tilt motor, base motor, and extend motor will be super slow. Let's just check this out, see what it does. Should go to 90 first. Okay. There, okay. You have a little jitter there. Okay. So I'm just gonna let it, I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing, alright? But my last challenge is kind of play with the motor speeds, the way that I just showed you, to kind of get the smoothest movement, okay? So 1 second is, kind of odd, but maybe it's also smooth except for the jitter spots. All right, again, your motors might be a little bit different, and I don't know if you saw that, this right here, this wood got caught on this cable. All right, so keep an eye on those cables too. If you do have a twist tie, or maybe you want to move, maybe another smart thing would be to feed these cables down to down here possibly. So I'll just put that as something as well. Keep an eye on cables. Okay. If you want to rewire it, reroute it, I'll kind of leave that up to you as well. Because as you're moving around so much now, cables get easily caught. Okay, so we're gonna have to, you're gonna have to be an engineer, kind of figure that out. And then, as I said, also play with the motor movement speed to get the smoothest sequence, motion sequence that you can get. And if you want, you can also play with this, the angle increment. So I use 15, but I still saw some jitter, so maybe I don't like the 15. Maybe I want to do 30 now or something, right? But you can also play with that. So both the delay here and also the angle increment to get the smoothest motion as possible. All right, that's all we have now. I think that should be plenty to kind of experiment with. I really like that we went the next level on our function here. We added the servo motor as a parameter. That's actually a more advanced topic, and I like that we're making our functions here really efficient, because again, if we didn't add the servo motor as a parameter, we would have had all this copy and pasted code, and it would have been really ugly. But now this is a lot more efficient. All right, that's all we have now. If you have any questions, feel free to always reach out. Take care and have fun.